Well, it's a pleasure to welcome in for the first time in a while and the first time in his new gig for sure, the new head basketball coach at Loyola, who was once an assistant at Loyola, and you may remember as the former head coach at Johns Hopkins. He is Coach Josh Loeffler, and he's with us this morning here on GCR. Coach, it's Glenn. It's great to see you. It's great to chat with you. Congratulations, and thanks for taking the time for us.
Thank you, Glenn. It's great to be here. It's great to be here at Loyola. It's great to be back in Baltimore, and it's great to be on your show.
Josh, just the whirlwind of this past week, and what it means to you to be back here in this place where you have spent so much time in your career, and kind of how perfect this seems from the outside.
Yeah, I mean, perfect is a strong word, right? But I think that it's a thrill. Baltimore has become really, aside from the home I grew up in, this is as much home as any place has ever been for me. 10 years in this city before my stint at Cincinnati
Yeah.
this year. And, I wasn't really thinking that this might even be an option. But when it became an opening and there was mutual interest, it started really um, reminding me of just how much I loved this place and, this city. And it is in very, very many ways, it is almost too good to be true.
Coach, did you as you took the job at Cincinnati, was it purposeful for I want to get to the D1 level as a head coach, and I feel like this is something that I have to do in order to do that? What was the thought process when you decided to make that jump?
It was purposeful in that I wanted to challenge myself with a great opportunity to coach with a great program in Cincinnati in their first year in the Big 12. And it just seemed like a wonderful opportunity to get better as a coach, to compete at the highest level, and to reacclimate myself with the highest level of college basketball, so that I can grow and understand what the landscape is, but also just have an unbelievable new challenge. And really that's what that move was based on, was working with great people led by Wes Miller at Cincinnati,
Yeah.
and trying to help Cincinnati compete for a Big 12 championship, which is, it's pretty fun to go in and try and score in Fall Gallon Fieldhouse, and win those games. So it was really about just getting better and growing as a coach. And then opportunities can arise as you move forward. But really, I don't think about things much in that way. It's more about trying to just have great experiences as a coach and a person in the moment.
Did you, as I go back a little ways, you obviously know the uniqueness of the Patriot League, and you know the uniqueness of the spot that Loyola's in, right? Like it's a little bit different than a lot of other leagues where the type of kids that you're able to recruit. How much do you feel like you benefit, like the fact that you've been there before benefits you in taking on this role as head coach at Loyola?
Well, I hope it just gives me more context, where like I'll be aware of some of the programs that we're facing. I'll be familiar with some of the coaches in the league, some of the styles of play. I'll be familiar with those things. But then also, just I do have a familiarity with the type of student athlete that you recruit at an institution like Loyola, and I have a familiarity with Loyola in general. So it's always nice when you're starting somewhere, when you actually know where the HR department is, when you where you know how to get to the training room. So hopefully it just my learning curve isn't as steep, because I do have a familiarity with this place, with many of these people, and with the league that we compete in.
He is Josh Loeffler. He is the new basketball coach at Loyola. He is with us here on GCR. Coach, the success that you found at Hopkins, right? And I get that that had been established, and you walked in kind of after a legend a little bit, and you were able to sustain that. But how much does that translate from the D3 level to being a D? Like, how much is it, hey, coaching is coaching, and it kind of doesn't matter where you are, that, if you can do it well, you can do it well.
I'd like to think that coaching is coaching, but I'd also And I hope it translates 1-1 because we won a lot of games at Hopkins. It would be great if we could win as many here. Um, but I also know that you must, as a coach, just like in every profession, you have to adapt to the place you're at, and you must make sure that what you're doing to try to win basketball games and build a great program and run a great program fits the place you're at. So, you know, what we did at Hopkins isn't going to be the exact same as what we do at Loyola because these are two different places with different people, different infrastructures. Um, Coaching is coaching in many ways, but with that, every great coach I've ever met, been around, worked with, adjusted to his surroundings. So I think that's what we're going to have to do here. We're going to have to make sure that we stay true to ourselves as coaches, but that we're doing the best thing for Loyola and not staying with what worked somewhere else because that might not work here. We need to find out what works best here and then dive into that full steam ahead.
What about your knowledge of the local recruiting scene? Like that's got to give you a leg up as you take on a job like this.
Again, I hope so. I
Right,
mean,
right. Yeah, yeah,
you know, I'm very wary of saying, "Oh, that has to
yeah,
help
yeah,
me. That
yeah.
has to do
Right,
that." Like,
right.
I think sometimes the guys go like, "Oh, I know everybody. We'll have the Baltimore recruiting scene on lock," and it's like it's never that easy, guys. It's never that easy. So, I do have, I think, good relationships with many stakeholders in the Baltimore basketball scene. Um, but also, I was operating from a different place when I was at Hopkins and when I was an assistant here. So the relationship will grow and evolve with everybody around here as I'm in this role here as the head coach. But hopefully, the fact that I know how to get to certain gyms without getting lost is helpful,
Right.
and the fact that I can walk into some gyms and see familiar faces is going to benefit Loyola in the long run. But I don't pretend that I'm the only guy who knows these coaches and players. There's a lot of great people out there in our area and across the globe and the country who are familiar with the great basketball scene in this city. Hopefully, I'm able to take advantage of some relationships and build new ones as well. And it's a great, vibrant basketball town, and we're hoping to tap into that market as much as we can.
Josh, I understand that you haven't accomplished yet what you want to accomplish but just getting to the point in your career where you are a D1 head coach, that is an accomplishment in and of itself. What does that part of this mean to you, given how much you've had to grind in many different roles and at many different levels in order to get this opportunity?
Well, Glenn, I appreciate that. Thank you. Number one, I'm very, very hesitant to use the word grind, unless I'm making my coffee in the morning. I've been really lucky, man. Like I've been in coaching. This was my 21st season coaching college basketball.
Hmm.
I know I look young, so it's hard to believe. Um, but like I've never really felt like I had to work a day in many ways. I get to wear shorts and sweats to work a lot, and that's pretty nice. But to say I grinded, I used to come home at every now and then I'd come home at a late hour, and my dad would be waking up, to go to his second job. You know what I mean? Or he'd be coming home from the night shift, and I try to keep that in mind. There's a lot of people. You say grind. There's a lot of people who would kill to just go like, oh, I can't believe I got to go watch this other AAU game this
Right.
weekend. If take a flight, there's people who would like get to go to Vegas to watch basketball. That's great. So I've been really fortunate, man. And I try to keep that in mind. Having said that, it's surreal at times to think about. I didn't play at the University of Maryland. I wasn't an NBA player, but I have tried to continually get better at coaching and use my abilities. And I'm glad that Loyola believes in me and has picked me for this job. That's what's really great is that I feel this support from Loyola and a lot of the basketball and community around here, and that's really really it's really awesome to experience.
So tell me what makes Loyola special. Like that, this was, you said it's mutual interest, right? Like when this was an opportunity, part of it obviously is familiarity, but what do you feel like you can tap into in order to like Loyola's had very good players, right, in recent
Yeah,
years. You know what? Cam's playing this weekend, right, in the Final Four, and of course
yeah.
Santi in the NBA. What can you tap into at Loyola in order to be able to succeed and get this program back to the level of getting to the NCAA tournament?
Well, I think it's a beautiful campus. It's an amazing school. We have great programs that students and student athletes want to study as a part of. But aside from that, and I'll tell you what, that's all at a very high level. You know, from the top down, leadership is excellent. And I think when you're looking at a university and athletic department, you want to evaluate the leadership because really the people make these places. So from Terry Sawyer to Donna Woodruff to the board of trustees, the alignment really stood out. And then I just think that this is one of the warmest, most welcoming places to go to college that you could ever experience. It's hard to really put it out there where everybody can understand. But when you walk around this campus, when you walk around this community, when you're a member of this community, it is a vibrant, welcoming, and truly just it's like a big warm embrace what this community is. I felt that as an assistant. I felt it again yesterday, walking to the Starbucks below my office, like, and then having said all that, it's a school that really wants to have a great basketball program. We have student athletes who want to succeed. We have a great athletic department with awesome programs in men's soccer and women's soccer, lacrosse programs. Like there's a lot of great programs, but the student body here wants men's basketball and women's basketball to succeed. There's great support from our student athletes, from our student body. I don't think there's a student body that supports basketball better in the league and maybe the city. And I think when you combine all of that, the campus community, the leadership, the people, the student body, what you have is someplace that it just feels really, really special to go to work every day.
That's well said, Coach. Really well said. All right, and what about your family? What about the wife, your girls? Did they, as fired up as you were about coming back here, did they say, why couldn't we have just stayed forever or anything like that?
Um, they're really excited to be back in Baltimore. That's clear. Anytime you tell an 11-year-old and a 7-year-old that they're moving again,
And that is tough.
yeah,
Yeah.
the wide range of emotions you get to experience and the
Yeah.
questions that you get fired off at you are they run from A to Z, man. So like they're excited to be coming back to before we move to Cincinnati, this is the only place my
Yep.
daughter's goes home. So they're excited to be coming back. But anytime you move a family, like the upheaval for kids is like, whoa, when are we moving? How are we moving? Where exactly are we moving? Can we go back to our same house? Like, you're dealing with all that. So I think that we're addressing things one step at a time. But yeah, they're super excited to get back here. And my family, my wife's family, all on the East Coast. Baltimore is home. So I think the joy that will come with moving back here is going to be real, and I'm excited. I'm excited for that too.
Coach, we're excited about having you back here. Very happy for you and your family. I know it's a weird time in coaching. You got to go figure out what your roster looks like because it's a crazy time for that. So appreciate you taking the time for us this
Yeah,
morning. We're gonna look forward to doing this as we get closer to the hoop season and during the course of the season. Thanks for spending some time with
I
us.
look forward to one thing, Glenn. I want to make this very clear.
Hmm.
I can't wait till the next time we talk and you go, you're so much better at this than Jimmy Patsos.
Ha 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 ha! The shot fired. The shot. We love Coach, but I probably in the same time period I would have been able to get one question in, and then he had just gone, and I said, "All right, Jimmy, thanks for stopping by." Love Coach. Josh, thank you, man.
Thank
Congratulations.
you, Glenn. Have a good one.